This is Part 2 Episode 163. The Yunmo planet ship flew with almost zero noise at 50 times light speed within the dark universe. Within its resting quarters, Luo Feng lay on the bed while resting against the wall, as he looked at the simulator screen before him. On it displayed was the detailed information and numbers of some companies. Simply using universe crystals to produce bug warriors is definitely not realistic. Luo Feng frowned and said. And buying from the companies seems very complex also. Barbata's sharp voice resounded within the quarters. It is very complex indeed. The main thing is that you can buy the alloy remains, materials and so on. If you request things like ship remains etc., and your lowest grade requirements are C grade, it would be best if they are D or E grade instead. These remains, scales and so on all are high-leveled items. Also the blood. They all have to be at least universe-level beasts or similar life-form blood. How will they earn any profit with them? Even though those business have these items within their scope, covering tens of starfields, even though they have D and E grade ship and alloy remains, they still have to deal with the A, B and C grades. After all, the low-level business are what brings in the most quantity. But that's useless to me. Luo Feng frowned. He wanted to build a Sector Lord army. Producing Sector Lord pinnacle bug soldiers required metals, matter, blood and other materials, and they had high requirements among them too. The best was E grade. Even if they aren't top grade and are slightly lousier, he'll use quantity to compensate. However, the lower C grade alloys and metals are probably the lowest he could go. Any lower, and it wouldn't be effective at all. However, the entire Ganwu universe country, there were only very few companies dealing with E grade ship remains and alloy remains. However, for these business to reach such levels, they usually had huge backgrounds. Their true mother company may be the virtual universe company. Hence, they wouldn't sell their goods that easily. And some with huge ranges of business, it wasn't worth buying from them. As A and B grade alloy metals took most of the market. The method Purple Lightning official had mentioned. Luo Feng shook his head, realistically comparing what he said and the numbers are indeed true. Hence, it was this troublesome. These numbers were all provided by Purple Lightning official. Just within the Ganwu universe country regions, there were a large number of companies that provided such detailed numbers. They were already considered very high-leveled. Those without any ability wouldn't be able to acquire such numbers. And Purple Lightning official, as the head of the business department, naturally had knowledge of such numbers. And Luo Feng could use his supervisor envoy position to acquire these numbers without triggering any breaches from the virtual universe company. You can't blame Purple Lightning official, Luo Feng. He only knows that you want to produce bug warriors. How would he know that you want to produce Sector Lord level? Normal battles would normally simply produce large numbers of Star Traveler, Star and Universe level bugs. Even though they are cannon fodder, when their numbers added up, it's still useful in the outer region wars. Barbata said. Endless bug army. One mother nest could produce a shocking numbers of bugs. In the outer regions, when the entire bug clan and their large number of mother nests combined their low-leveled bugs together, the sea of bugs formed would be terrifying. I'm not using it in the outer region wars. But, I need an army strong enough to fight Undyings. I only have one mother nest. To produce low-leveled bugs, the value would be too low, it doesn't meet my needs at all. Luo Feng shook his head. And to let these low-level bugs fight it out and evolve to Sector Lord level, the amount of energy wasted would be 100 times more. It doesn't meet my requirements either. Luo Feng. I've already calculated, if we buy the companies, we would probably be able to buy 91 of the 95 companies. We would use about 1/10 of the amount used in universe crystals to produce the soldiers. Barbata said. Luo Feng nodded. That way, the million Sector Lord Shadow Spear bug army would require 1 million mixed elements. 1 million Sector Lord Tiger armored bugs would require 2.5 million mixed elements. 1 million hunting mantis bugs would require 5 million mixed elements. Of course, Luo Feng wouldn't even think about making King Sector Lords, which was 100 times the price. It was just too expensive. It's still high. Luo Feng frowned. I want a million Sector Lord Tiger armored bugs. That still requires 2.5 million mixed elements. I only have a little more than 2 million in my account, it's not even 2.5 million. Back then, Huyangbo had left Luo Feng about 3.122 million mixed elements. In order to repair and upgrade the Yunmo planet ship, to nurture the cloud contact vine, he had already used over 400,000 mixed elements. Later on, he gave his younger brother 500,000 mixed elements to invest, leaving him with only 2.218 million mixed elements. Luo Feng, this is already the limit. Barbata said. Purple Lightning Official is the head of the Ganwu business department and you are the supervisor envoy. Hence, you are able to get such detailed numbers at such a low price. Otherwise, the numbers would be about twice the amount. To get 1 million tiger armored bugs, you'd need about 3.8 million mixed elements. Luo Feng nodded. Of course he knew that this was the benefit of power. The reduction from 3.8 to 2.5 million, a total of 1.3 million was saved. This was definitely an incredibly huge sum. However, his wealth wasn't sufficient. As he only had 2.218 million mixed elements, naturally, he had to find ways to save as much as possible. Wulong Starfield, as one of the 9 great rubbish star fields, it was situated in an extremely rural and desolate region of humanity's territory. From Earth in the Ganwu universe country, even at 50 times light speed in the dark universe, it still required about a year and 2 months to get there. Virtual universe, Ganwu continent. Within a huge restaurant that stretched high into the clouds, a dark red-skinned, large-mouthed man with dark green short hair dressed in an exquisite long robe walked into the spacious hall. A formless pressure engulfed the area, and directly behind him, a group of good-looking men and women followed in 2 rows. Beside him a green-skinned silver-robed man followed, and was always smiling. To the top level. The dark red-skinned leader walked to the escalator. The tens of men and women stood outside the escalator, almost as though they were stopping anyone from going there. The escalator rose. Attention all, the guests above this escalator. A manager of this luxurious restaurant walked over, he was about to speak. Get lost. The pressure the 10 men and women simultaneously released caused the simple-minded manager's consciousness to immediately crumble as he fell to the ground. There wasn't a single sound within the entire first level. Everyone was shocked and fearful as they realized that these 10 men and women were all undyings. Within the escalator. It took a while to go from level 1 to level 9822. Master, is there a need to personally come see this Luo Feng? Won't sending someone under you be sufficient? He's after all just a small punk. The silver-robed man said humbly. What do you know? Do you know who his teacher is? The dark red-skinned leader spoke, his mouth opened wide as he smiled. It's that powerful True Yang Emperor. The man beside said. True Yang's position is very special, but he is only his disciple. Within our virtual universe company, there are even a few disciples of knights. What's more, these ultimate beings have disciples all over, they wouldn't easily help all their disciples. Even if they fall, they will just let them fall. The leader smiled, let me tell you, his undying guard right now is called Dylan. Dylan's teacher is Bloodthirst Emperor Tai Jun, and Bloodthirst Emperor is True Yang's most exceptional disciple. As for Dylan, from what I know, his true strength is almost at the official undying level. To let an official level undying stick to Luo Feng and guard him, he. The silver-robed man was shocked. Master, I understand. True Yang had secretly sent Dylan to protect Luo Feng, this means he pays extra attention to Luo Feng. The universe knights all stood high and mighty above all. Slightly guiding their disciples is already considered not bad, they wouldn't waste too much effort. Even though True Yang had yet to become a universe knight, in many warriors' eyes, he was extremely close to becoming one. Even if a knight wanted to kill him, it would be hard to succeed. Such a level of being was the most terrifying within the Emperor level undyings. The escalator slowed down and finally stopped on the top level, level 9822. The entire top level only had one table and there sat a black-haired youth. Beside him stood a bald-headed black-robed man. Long Ju Emperor. Luo Feng got up and smiled as he shouted. Ha ha. The dark red-skinned leader laughed loudly, walking straight to Luo Feng, sizing him up as he smiled, indeed one of the important geniuses of this generation's competition. Your bearing sure isn't ordinary. Let's sit and talk. After which, the leader sat opposite Luo Feng and the silver-robed man sat respectfully behind. For Long Ju Emperor to be willing to meet me, I'm extremely excited and happy. Luo Feng said. This Long Ju Emperor's name was Tian Qiong. He was the good friend that Purple Lightning official had mentioned. He was also one of the powerful managers with control over the Wulong star field, and he had just been given the title Emperor a few tens of thousands of years ago. His true strength was barely at Emperor level. However, as he belonged to the upper echelon of the Wulong star field, one of the 9 great rubbish star fields, even though everybody calls it the rubbish star fields, in truth, these 9 star fields, in terms of value, were worth more than even the 9 star fields themselves. As the outer region wars go on, there would be endless remains from the battles that were transported over here. And these remains were made up of many Sector Lord weapons, flying weapons, along with the countless treasures that fly out after their internal worlds crumbled. There were also many weapons that were created by Undyings, etc., a large amount of technological weapons, automaton dolls. Even though they were all damaged, once the quantity adds up, their value was still unbelievable. Race wars. The rubbish, their value was unbelievable. Hence, to become one of the upper echelon members of one of these star fields, it was even more impressive than being the head of a department of the Ganwu department. These beings usually had even Emperor-level Undyings call them in for favors, even Universe Knights would occasionally come. Hence, even though his strength wasn't much, his position was extremely high. Originally, it was just a simple invitation. However, Luo Feng didn't expect for him to personally come welcome him in the virtual universe. Once he got the acceptance, he was incredibly surprised. I heard that you want some bug corpses. Long Ju Emperor spoke with his mouth wide open, laughing. I do need some. Luo Feng smiled. How much? The dark red-skinned leader lifted his wine glass and sipped, after which he looked at Luo Feng. Luo Feng muttered to himself softly. If I want all Sector Lord Pinnacle bug corpses, and not bad ones like tiger armored bugs, I need about 10 million corpses. 10 million, Sector Lord Pinnacle. Tian Xiong was somewhat stunned as his red eyes gazed at Luo Feng. The silver-robed man sitting behind Tian Xiong was shocked too. Looking at this black-haired youth before him, this Luo Feng sure is vicious. He is actually ready to buy 10 million Sector Lord Pinnacle bug corpses. This is about the max master can deal in one order. Okay, luckily it's still within my authority. If you required any more, I'd have to have an audit with the other managers. Tian Xiong put down his glass. Then I'm in your debt, Long Ju Emperor. Luo Feng sighed within. Even though it was 10 million bug corpses, those were referring to complete bodies. However, most of the corpses from the outer regions were all damaged. It normally took a few additional body parts added together to be considered one complete body. After all, buying bug corpses, the people buying them were mostly human warriors who owned mother nests, all for producing large amounts of bug soldiers. They didn't require perfect corpses. However, according to what Aina told me, 5 or 6 complete tiger armored bug corpses, when swallowed, she would be able to produce one living tiger armored bug. After getting 10 million complete corpses, building the Sector Lord army wouldn't be a problem. Luo Feng finally felt relief, as the biggest problem to building the Sector Lord army was the huge resources that it required. If he used normal A-grade metals, even 100 Earth-sized metals, along with the same low-level blood and materials etc., it wouldn't even be able to produce one Sector Lord Pinnacle bug. Sector Lord. As for natural evolution, it normally took 1,000 galaxies to produce one Sector Lord. With an absolute being's guidance, the probability would rise by 10 times. However, the numbers were still very small. A Sector Lord, with a wave of his hand, could cause great destruction on an entire planet. Hence, creating a Sector Lord Pinnacle bug, one could only imagine the resources required. Luckily Luo Feng only required the corpses of the Sector Lord Pinnacle bugs. If he went for Domain Lord Pinnacle corpses, the amount needed would be 10,000 times more. He would require 100 billion Domain Lord Pinnacle bug corpses. 1 hour later, the dark red skin leader Tian Xiong, with the silver-robed man beside, brought his tens of Undyings and left the luxurious restaurant. At the top level, Luo Feng gazed down through the glass. This was the 9,822nd level, and it was about 100 kilometers from here to the bottom level. However, Luo Feng could still easily see the endless people within the pathways below. The many races of humanity had all sorts of appearances. Your Majesty, congratulations. Dylan smiled. With Long Ju Emperor's agreement, this matter is settled without a hitch. Right, why is Your Majesty buying so many bug corpses, and who are you buying them for? For myself. Luo Feng said. Dylan's eyes gleamed as he smiled. Even though you have a mother nest, you have no way to control it. Why are you getting so many corpses now? The bodies will rot and decay over time. Only undyings were eternal. Sector Lord bodies would indeed rot. Hence I require Sector Lord Pinnacle bug corpses. Luo Feng said indifferently. The higher the power, the slower the bodies will rot. Those normal student-level bodies would begin to rot in 10 days to half a month, universe level would take decades to hundreds of years. Sector Lord Pinnacle, even after 10,000 years, would still only rot a little. After another few tens of thousands of years, it would only rot to the bones. Finally, after another tens of thousands of years, only then would it fully decay. I'm speaking about humans, the bug clan. Their construct is different from humans, their surface level has scales and shells etc., they are able to last longer. Also, that's without maintenance. If I freeze them, the process would be delayed hundreds to thousands of times. Luo Feng said indifferently. Getting Sector Lord Pinnacle bug corpses, even after storing for 100,000 years, as long as they are frozen, they definitely wouldn't rot. Dylan nodded. Anyway, whatever I don't use I can sell in the future. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. What's more, I have a mother nest, I will definitely find a way to control it. According to my plan, I won't stay at Domain Lord level over 10,000 years. When I reach Sector Lord Pinnacle, I'll naturally have a way to control it. Your Majesty has planned far ahead. Dylan smiled. Luo Feng glanced at Dylan. He had told Purple Lightning official he was buying for someone else earlier. However, Dylan had been sticking by him all this while, and even if he was under the same lineage, under True Yang Emperor, whichever undying he knew, Dylan probably knew even more. Lying to Dylan would eventually be exposed. Hence he simply admitted to it. And Dylan was under True Yang's orders to protect him, every move he made would be reported to True Yang. True Yang Emperor was his teacher. Other than his own personal secret, he would rather not lie about anything else. Planned far ahead. To compete with the pinnacle geniuses of humanity, how can I not plan far ahead? If I only look at the present, I would be exceeded by others. Luo Feng smiled indifferently. Like how I've already purchased the soul control technique, and began its training, all in the hopes of controlling the mother nest in the future. Dylan's eyes gleamed, smiling as he complimented and nodded. I respect your Majesty's forward thinking. When you own the mother nest in the future and make a bug army, your Majesty, I await that day. Ha ha. Luo Feng laughed. He had long completed the third level of 10,000 soul control, and controlled the mother nest. The moment he had enough Sector Lord bug corpses, he would immediately begin producing that army. With the Sector Lord army in hand, when I explore at Sector Lord level, I'll be able to go to dangerous places. Luo Feng anticipated. The Yunmo planet ship continued to fly in the dark universe. In the 9th month after he left Earth, Virtual Universe, Black Dragon Mountain 9-star Bay. Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God sat around a table. The past few times we tried contacting you, we couldn't even get through Big Brother. Luo Feng lifted his teapot and poured 3 cups. The amber-like tea flowed into the cups. Did you cut off connections? 30. Don't bring up Big Brother. How many times have I looked for you during these 100 years? The white-robed bald man Thunder God said. And you only returned to 9-stay Bay a few times. When I look for you at other times, you always cut off all connections. Big Brother 2. During these 100 years, I've never even contacted you. The two of you are so busy. Don't say that it is just us. Luo Feng looked at Thunder God. Second brother, you haven't been on Earth these past 200 years. Back then, you even said you'd stay rooted on Earth. The two of them argued for a while. Beside them, Hong lifted his teacup and smiled at their noise as he sipped his tea. Big Brother, 30 went to the Gold Horn race home within these 100 years. Thunder God said. The Gold Horn race is another race besides humanity. However, they are subservient to humanity. Right, don't spread this news about them, it's just for us to know. Hong nodded. Luo Feng and Thunder God exchanged glances. Because of Ji Qing's matter back then, Hong seemed very calm on the surface. However, the two brothers knew that it was a huge blow to him. After that, Hong went to join the Huge Axe Dojo's elite training faction. After which, Luo Feng and Thunder God, other than the initial conversations, lost contact with him. They hadn't contacted each other in over 100 years. Big brother. Luo Feng spoke. Hong looked over. What have you been doing over these 100 years? Luo Feng asked. Primal Chaos City. Hong said. Primal Chaos City. Luo Feng was stunned. Beside him Thunder God stared wide-eyed too. Luo Feng had been there before, hence Thunder God was very clear on what it meant. Simply going there was extremely difficult. The last time after Jade Dome Planet's incident, I went to the elite training camp. There, I spent the years working hard and improved quite a bit. Finally, I was accepted into the huge Axe Dojo's core. Hong smiled indifferently. The group of special elites accepted then had the chance to go to Primal Chaos City to train. My time there was similar to yours, akin to the outside world of 100 years. It was just yesterday that I left the Primal Universe. Right now, I'm heading towards one of the huge Axe Dojo's secret regions. I'm currently in a ship and my consciousness is in the virtual universe network chatting with you too. Damn. Thunder God stared. Damn. Luo Feng could only say this too. Truly. This big brother Hong was seriously too low profile. Big brother, you are too calm for someone who had entered the core of the huge Axe Dojo. Even the geniuses from the entire Ganwu universe country wouldn't necessarily be picked. Now that you've entered their core, you actually told no one and seem so calm. Not even telling anyone about your 100 years in Primal Chaos City. Thunder God stared wide-eyed. It was a lucky incident, and it made my training more solid. What's there to be proud of? Hong said casually. You are vicious. Thunder God was speechless. Big brother, are you poking fun at him and about my pride? Luo Feng looked at Hong. Ha ha. Hong laughed. All right, it was a small matter. Also the huge Axe Dojo would pick special elites from the entire universe and after which, they go through another round of selection. Even if one gets into the core, they are only in the outer circles of the core. Akin to your last phase members of the virtual universe company. It's nothing to be proud of. When the day comes that I'm able to enter the innermost core of the huge Axe secret region, becoming a true member of the organization, I will definitely celebrate big time then. Luo Feng and Thunder God exchanged glances and smiled. From the Ganwu universe country's Milky Way heading to the distant Wulong starfield, it was indeed very far. After a year and 2 months of travel, Luo Feng and his group finally arrived at the Wulong starfield. Wulong starfield was one of the 9 great rubbish starfields. But in truth it was a true treasure ground. Within the dark space, a ripple occurred and a triangular blood-colored universe ship appeared. Within the control room, Luo Feng and Dylan both gazed at the floating group of palaces in space. Luo Feng, we've arrived at the coordinates, universe travel is now complete. We are very close to the palace from here, it'll only take 25 minutes to get there. Barbata's voice resounded within the control room. After 1 year and 2 months, we've finally arrived. It sure wasn't easy coming here. Luo Feng smiled. Let's go and meet Tian Qiong. Yes. The Yunmo planet ship accelerated again, and became a blur as it flew towards the palace. The palaces were well organized with outer walls, and within the walls were tens of palaces, all at different heights. The entire area took up an area of over 100,000 kilometers, and outside of these palaces were black armored guards patrolling. The security system had long discovered Luo Feng's group. Stop. A warning signal was sent to the Yunmo planet ship. I am Luo Feng here to see Long Ju Emperor. The ship returned a message. After a while, with the Yunmo planet ship stopped outside the walls, Luo Feng kept the ship as the two of them stood in space looking at the vast palaces. The palaces had an energy barrier that flashed occasionally and covered the palaces completely. With Luo Feng's vision, he could instantly tell that it was of a higher grade than the Yunmo planet ships. The moment he tried to barge in, it would trigger the defense system's attack. Rumble. The main entrance opened. The silver-robed man brought with him a large group of black armored guards. Seeing Luo Feng and Dylan, he smiled. Luo Feng, the master is already waiting for you, please follow me. Luo Feng and Dylan followed him and the group, entering the palace. Rumble, the entrance closed behind them. The tallest and most majestic palace of the group, at the entrance stood a large group of white-robed guards. They were all Sector Lord Pinnacle level. Luo Feng and Dylan followed the silver-robed man into the palace, and along the pathways, quickly reaching a quiet slanted hall. Ha ha, Luo Feng, this is the real first time we are meeting. The dark red-skinned and red-eyed Long-Ju Emperor Tian Qiong laughed loudly. Sit, both of you. Thank you, Long-Ju Emperor. Luo Feng said respectfully, following which Dylan and him sat down. The last time we met was in the virtual universe. Since the entire network was under the virtual universe company's surveillance, many things couldn't be said fully. Long-Ju Emperor laughed. You said back then you wanted to buy 10 million Sector Lord Pinnacle bug corpses. I wasn't clear if you had checked up in secret before. In truth, this number is indeed the upper limit of what I can supply to you alone. Luo Feng was stunned. The 9 great rubbish starfields, any one starfield is more wealthy than an entire universe country. Long-Ju Emperor emphasized. Hence, there are a total of 5 people at the top of management in Wulong Starfield. They are separate from the virtual universe company, Huge Axe Dojo, Universe First Bank, the 5 Leviathans. As long as the scale of a sale doesn't exceed 10 million units, we can all individually act. However, the moment it exceeds that amount, all 5 have to audit it. Long-Ju Emperor smiled. If anyone has too much power, it could result in large amount of resources being lost. Luo Feng nodded. And here, every 100,000 Sector Lord Pinnacle bug corpses are priced at 10,000 mixed elements. You want to buy 10 million, hence that would be 1 million mixed elements. He looked at Luo Feng. Considering it is right at my limit, looks like there's someone who told you about this. This is simply too much of a coincidence. Luo Feng was stunned. I really wasn't informed of this. Long-Ju Emperor glanced at Luo Feng without asking any more. He squinted his eyes, his red eyes that made people tremble glanced at Luo Feng. The 10 million Sector Lord Pinnacle bug corpses are priced at 1 million mixed elements. Wait a while I go pay. Can there be any discounts? Luo Feng asked. No. Long-Ju Emperor shook his head. This is the fixed price set by the 5 Leviathans. 100,000 Sector Lord Pinnacle bug corpses, or 1 billion Domain Lord Pinnacle bug corpses, they are all sold for 10,000 mixed elements. There's no room for any discounts. Luo Feng frowned. He had looked for Long-Ju Emperor in the hopes of a discount, however it seemed like that was impossible. Whether it's me or the other 4 managers. Our deals, the prices are all fixed, we cannot mess with it. He noticed Luo Feng's expression, he couldn't help but burst out laughing. Little punk, looks like you are nervous. Don't worry, hold it in. There's bound to be loopholes in any law. He rubbed his chin looking at Luo Feng. This Bug Clan corpse deal naturally has its loophole. You were introduced by Purple Lightning official, and you are the disciple of Truyang Emperor of whom I respect, let me help you out. Luo Feng listened intently. Firstly, the amount of money cannot be any less. He smiled. However, you should know that the Bug Clan has many divisions and types. The top-level bugs compared to the low-level bugs, all are Sector Lord Pinnacle bugs, however their price may vary by 10 times. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. Right? A Sector Lord Pinnacle Shadow Spear bug body compared to a Hunting Mantis body, how could the price be the same? The difference was about 5 times. Every 100,000 corpses are sold as 1 unit. Long-Ju Emperor smiled, however on Wulong Star Field, there are countless corpses stored and split into countless units. Within some units, there are more high-level corpses while others have more low-level corpses. Among all the Sector Lord Pinnacle corpses, different units will have differences in prices of 2 to 3 times. The extreme ones can reach up to 4 or 5 times. Luo Feng nodded. Right. 10 million Shadow Spear corpses compared to 10 million Hunting Mantis corpses, the difference was 5 times. 5 times, what was that? 1 million mixed elements, it could buy bug corpses worth 5 million mixed elements. The profit in this was shocking. In one deal alone, one could earn 4 million mixed elements in profits. How terrifying was this? Of course, in reality, it was hard to find such shocking differences in prices of units. Normally the difference was only about 2 or 3 times. Here's 200 numbers. Tian Qiong flipped his hand and threw out 200 metal cards. On them were complex numbers. This is. Luo Feng raised his hand and used his spirit energy to grab them. Every metal card was about the size of his palm. But the 200 of them combined reached almost his height. The numbers on each of them were very complex. For example, one of them was B2461, 95,453, 13,402, 96,289, 71,833. Every number represents a goods unit. Tian Qiong laughed. With one metal card you'll be able to buy 1 unit of Sector Lord Pinnacle bug corpses. Every unit has 100,000 corpses within. 200 units, isn't that 20 million? Luo Feng was stunned. These 200 units are all not bad. They all exceed their value, and some even had high-level bugs. Tian Qiong laughed. I'm giving you 200 metal cards for you to go and choose from. Go pick the best 100 units. When you are done picking, you can return me the remaining metal cards. Understood. Luo Feng smiled and nodded. He felt gratitude within. This Tian Qiong didn't source for any benefits or hint at any. Luo Feng didn't know, to such a level of being like Tian Qiong, what benefit could Luo Feng give him? He'd rather do him a favor. And at times these favors were worth more than getting any benefits, and will be more useful in the future. To be in such a lucrative post, other than background, one had to have integrity. Oh, this is a medium-sized world ring. Tian Qiong tossed out a silver ring. There's an internal world within that has an area of 100,000 kilometers. Since you've purchased 1 million mixed elements worth of items, you get the chance to go to Rubbish Mountain to take some treasures. Take treasures. Luo Feng was stunned. Tian Qiong nodded. The wars in the outer regions have caused countless remains to be sent here. All sorts of remains, some worth anything, have already been divided and sold by themselves. There are others that are low in worth that would all be gathered in different places, floating in space. That's Rubbish Mountain. Those that come here to buy would all get a world ring and choose some items within Rubbish Mountain to place in them, until the ring is full. That would be the end of the trip. Ah. Luo Feng nodded. With an area of 100,000 kilometers, one could put hundreds to even 1,000 earths in it. How huge was this? One could easily see the wealth of the business of these 9 great rubbish starfields. Ha ha, Rubbish Mountain is the accumulation of trillions of years. Among these countless rubbish mountains, who knows how many things have been stored there? There may be some treasures. Tian Qiong said, you've been given the world ring and it's a medium-sized one, it can store quite a bit. Go pick your items well, you may even get some treasures. Luo Feng laughed. Go, head over to the financial affairs side to pay. After that, you can enter Wulong Starfield. Within the super-huge treasure trove, you can slowly pick your bug corpse units and treasures. Tian Qiong laughed and stood up. 200 metal cards and the silver space ring. They were both tokens that represented Luo Feng could enter Wulong Starfield and take the items. Luo Feng, Sector Lord Pinnacle bug corpses, 100 units. Deal success. Lord, 1 million mixed elements have already been transferred. A beautiful gold long-haired lady Undying said respectfully. Tian Qiong nodded, turning to look at Luo Feng and Dylan. Luo Feng, let's go, I'll send you to within Wulong Starfield. After a while. Humanity's territory, there's been an account transfer in one of the 9 great rubbish starfields, Wulong Starfield. It has number 3 Luo Feng's name, and he just spent 1 million mixed elements, acquiring the chance to enter Wulong Starfield and bought 100 units of Sector Lord Pinnacle bug corpses. He will most probably be spending the next 10 to 30 days in Wulong Starfield. A report that had been encoded hundreds of times within the virtual universe, in a very simply mail format, had been sent to one of the organization's mail reception points. This video will end here.